So a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine tracked me down in the supermarket and asked how the Minibed gardens were going. I gave her an update, but told her I would post a garden tour video soon. And we've been super busy the last 3 weeks, so I'm just now getting to it. I wanted to wait until everything was weeded and the lawn was mowed, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So anyways, this is the front yard, and we did do our wall of sunflowers again this year. This is a Sweet Mama. It does not get a ton of sun. It is not doing great compared to some of the other squash I will show you in a bit, but it's doing okay. This I think is spaghetti squash and a butternut squash. This I think might be a delicata. Honestly, I don't even know what these are. I've planted a ton of different winter squash this year. Then I've got cucumbers and cucumbers. Out front, we just laid landscape fabric. I wasn't going to cover it with anything, even though it says to, but the light was getting through, so Eric's and the weeds were still growing under it, pushing it up, as you can kind of, I don't know if you can see there, where the crabgrass is coming up under. So we started mulching it. Zucchini. Oh, actually, these are the cucumbers, so I don't know what those ones were back there. But this one's coming out into the yard. I'll have to move that. This was a tomato. I've never grown tomatoes out front. I just wanted to see how they did. And then these are some very disappointing zucchini that I don't know what's going on. I've grown zucchini here a few times and they were fine. But yeah, they're not doing great. And then I did do lots of broccoli, but it is not producing and is going straight to bolting. And we've got our pretty petunia-filled wheelbarrow. More petunias in this trough. I don't know, the red, white, and blue just makes me happy. Maybe it's because my grandma always planted these in her flower beds every year, and it's just nostalgic. This recycled soaking tub is where I've had my calendula growing. This is our yellow plum and my clothesline that we need to move because the plum tree is taking over. But these will be ready soon, and there's just a ton on there. And then over here was where Eric planted a last minute onion patch. It is very weedy, not part of the mini bed system at all. We were actually going to put asparagus bed in here, but at the last minute he wanted onions, and it was the only spot I had that he could really put them. So that's where they ended up. Apple tree. Here's the raspberry patch. It is just about done for the first crop, but we are getting lots of new growth that will be a second crop later on. I think last year they came on in September, which was kind of cool. The artichokes are just about spent, but the bees just absolutely love them. I could probably go to any single one of these heads and there are bees just in all of them. Those are the pear trees and an apple tree at the back towards the fence. That one over there by the fence is an Asian pear. More plums. More apples. And this is our peach tree. I've got herbs and different things growing in some of these tubs. Tons of rosemary. We got a couple gooseberry plants this year. Nettle, cucamelons, cucumbers. I've got stevia, basil. That's actually a blueberry with some crabgrass. More rosemary. This is where my chamomile was growing last year, and it's not doing so great this year. I do have a lot of new growth, so maybe it'll still do something. There's my rhubarb. zucchini, zucchini, zucchini. Those zucchinis were afterthoughts due to 100% germination. And if anybody was wondering about the Island of Misfit plants this year, it is going strong. We've got some kind of winter squash running all over the place that I had to pull out of the yard. There are potatoes. Every year we think we get all the potatoes, but every year we have potatoes growing. That one up there looks like it's maybe a zucchini. Lots of sunflowers. That's a tomato, 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 tomato. More sunflowers. Another squash. That looks like a zucchini. I can kind of see one coming on in there. More sunflowers. This is our burn pile when it's burn season. And we throw compost stuff out. There's a glimpse of the mini beds. I'll get to that in just a second. Out here we have blueberries. Ignore all the buckets. They're just everywhere. We use them for everything. Blueberries. And then out here, this has become affectionately known as the pumpkin patch. You can kind of see that framework there. That's my actual compost bin. So pumpkins, I don't know if you can tell, they're growing all the way back there. There's a sunflower back there by the neighbor's fence. Pumpkins, pumpkins, pumpkins. Giant sunflowers. And, oh yeah, more pumpkins. So now I'll turn you around and we'll check out the mini beds. So I ended up with 20 beds. None of them have been weeded fully. They've all been weeded a little bit. There's a pile of weeds, pile of weeds, pile of weeds. Like I said, I was going to wait till it was clean to show you this, but who knows when that'll happen. This one, I kind of left. I did weed a little bit in that corner and then remembered I was purposely leaving it to show you like how many weeds there are in here. This one actually shows kind of too. Everything that is covered in black plastic would look like that if we hadn't done this system, and it's just more weeds than I can keep up with. But we've got tomatoes in these first 4 beds. And then down here, exploding out of this 5th bed, is baby butternut squash. Super excited about those. They're a smaller variety that'll be nice for just the 2 of us. This one is acorn squash. And then we've got peppers, couple more tomatoes. See, again, I mean, these are just full of weeds and tomatoes, but you know, weeds. I haven't weeded them yet. More peppers, tomatillos. This one, tomatillos, these are just exploding. I mean, they're coming out everywhere. I put cages on them. They are not to be caged. Same here. These are cantaloupe. They're doing pretty good. They are playing catch up. All of my squash, I did not even direct sow the seed until Memorial weekend. So they got a late start, but they're catching up. This is little yellow petite watermelons. This, I don't know what this is. This might be banana melon. Something out here is banana melon or banana squash. I don't even remember which. We'll find out. This is more zucchini. So some of you might have seen my post about the poor germination I had on my acorn squash, and I realized that the seeds were like 5 years old. I planted 3 different varieties of zucchini because I wanted to try them. Because I didn't know what the germination rates would be, because I was also trying 3 different seed companies. I planted 6 of 3 different varieties and got 100% germination. So I have 18 zucchini plants, which is more than enough for 18 families. Brussels sprouts and Brussels sprouts. So yeah, I mean, this is nice. I would be walking through weeds. This would all be weeds. It would all be weeds. I'm so happy it's not weeds. This is like the happiest I think I've ever been with a garden. It's amazing. I will keep you posted and update again. I'm a little curious how the squash will actually do when they're on the plastic. The leaves should cool them. I know watermelon, years and years ago, I was told by a farmer like 30 years ago that watermelon liked to grow on black plastic. So we'll see. I don't know. It's all an experiment. Anyways, stay tuned. I will show you again later. Things probably won't be as pretty as we get to the end of the season and things are withering and dying. But, you know, it's how it goes. The tomatillos, y'all, I tried to grow tomatillos maybe 25 years ago. And I planted a plant and I got one tomatillo. So I didn't know what to expect. These are, like, this is the small patch. In fact, like that one's, I don't know, diseased. It's not really doing much. But look at even on this small one. All the tomatillos. And they remind me of like Chinese paper lanterns. They're so pretty. I just love them. But the ones that are just bursting out of the mini beds, like I didn't even expect that. Super pumped for that. Can't wait for some salsa verde, some green enchilada sauce. I'm super stoked. Those are the two things that I paid a lot of attention to what I was still buying at the stores, even with all the canning I do. And those were the two biggest things, was green salsa and green enchilada sauce. So we're trying to get some of that done ourselves this year. Have a good day, y'all.